No, just get out. Welcome, acolytes. Today I am reacting to Rev says Dessous. This, sorry about that. This war game might bankrupt Sony. I'm pretty sure he overdosed it, but hey, it sounds pretty dangerous. But as it is, please sub, like, and show me and have some love. And let's just see what Astrobot. The fuck is Astrobot? At least it doesn't look particularly offending. I mean, it looks standard. But okay, let's just see what this is all about. Let's start.
So it's been a very rough couple of weeks for Sony, mainly because the absolute failure of Concord. But what if I told you there's a game that Sony will be releasing that might actually be a bigger failure than Concord? Well, we're going to look at that game in just a second.
Do tell. I'm gonna be honest, I don't believe it that much, because at the end of the day, I mean, Concord was literally like one of the shittiest things that ever happened, and I am quite happy it actually didn't go off. Or I'm not even happy. If it was a good game, I would be sad, but because it was a shitty game, well, shitty game didn't get off. Okay, it happens. Fair enough, I would say.
But for context, we all know about Concord and what happened. This game comes out with all kinds of DEI nonsense.
Oh, wait. For people who actually don't know what happened with Concord, or what exactly actually the entire thing was. Concord is a hero shooter that went full freaking woke and actually got ripped apart. The player count was, I just say, lesser than my views. So there you got it. And I'm quite happy about it. And I mean, not happy, because at the end of the day, I mean, it could have been a good game, but it just wasn't. It just went the wrong route. And it's good that it actually failed.
And the developers make many disparaging comments about their potential customers. So when it finally does come out, this game, despite being in 8 years of development and having a huge budget, instantly fails. And Sony, recognizing this failure, cuts the cord, right? They try to stop the bleeding by shutting the game down after only a week and a half on the market. And as of yesterday, the game is officially shut down. Now, there's something...
And this was very good. Very, very good. As I said, they just didn't give a fuck about the game. It was nothing special. It was basically just nothing. And actually, unlike other hero shooters, because if you think hero shooters, what do you think? Overwatch, Paladins, maybe. It's more of an old school thing. I don't play that much shooters. But in the end of the day, it just wasn't good. It just wasn't good at all. And at the end, it costs something, and it looks extremely boring. So, what the F did you expect? It basically had to fail. At some point, it just had to fail, in my opinion.
Something interesting about Concord and Firewalk Studios, the development team behind that game, that I didn't know, and maybe some of you guys don't know as well. It was obvious that they acquired it. Everyone knows that Sony acquired Firewalk Studios, but did you know that they acquired Firewalk Studios in 2023? A lot of people like myself assumed that Firewalk Studios was acquired by Sony many years back, since this game has been in development.
Yeah, I actually assumed the same, because the game is 8 years in production, and Sony is actually quite not the most good producer for games. It's basically a freaking killer of any single company they get their dirty hands on. So yeah, there's that. But well, I guess you shouldn't assume things.
Development since 2016, but it looks like Sony acquired them pretty much in the late stages of development. I mean, at this point in 2023, the game was 7 years in development, and Sony looked at a probably nearly finished Concord and said, yup, that's our guy right there. Let's give what would be presumably millions and millions of dollars to acquire the studio and hope that Concord is going to end up selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of copies. And obviously, we know what happened there. But let's turn our attention to the other game that people are comparing Concord to, and that is Fairgames. Now, don't let the money symbol in the name fool you.
Okay.
This game will not be making a lot of money. You can see...
I mean, it already died. I know the beta was really, really shitty. It had like 2K players. Most of them just jumped off as soon as they actually seen this shit. So yeah, at the end of the day, it just wouldn't work. And yeah, it is what it is, I guess.
The description of this game here in their Twitter bio, let's read it. It says, "Welcome to Fairgames, your chance to rob the rich and rebalance the scales.
Oh, come on.
Take it till you make it." Yep. This is going to be dead on arrival. I'm just predicting this now. I don't think this is going to go very well. And we're going to look at the trailer in just a second. You'll understand why people are absolutely crapping all over this game. But let's talk about it a little bit, okay? So, in wake of Concord's failure, there are some rumors that Sony is trying to preemptively get some goodwill towards Fairgames. And they're trying to say that they're very positive about this game. And I think a lot of it, is apparent here that...
Yep, then it will die. If Sony is positive about something, get the fuck out there. It's already done. No, just get out. You might say it's harsh. I say it's not worth your time and money. Your time and money is worth more than to play shitty games just because some fucking executive actually thinks that you're gonna pay everything they want so they can afford Yacht number 5. So yeah, just be more patient with that shit.
Concord's failure has made Sony and a lot of people who are investing in Sony very nervous about some of their upcoming projects. Yep. And a lot of people are looking at Fairgames, but Sony seems confident. And of course, in that article, the gamer here tries to say Fairgames has one crucial advantage over Concord that'll make this whole thing different. And then their source is literally not even available. Like, you can't write this stuff. It's too funny. But anyways, let's talk about the acquisition of Haven Entertainment Studio by Sony. So this is the development team behind Fairgames. And unlike Firewalk Studios in Concord, they acquired this studio, Haven Entertainment, in 2022. And the studio itself was created in 2021. So basically, Sony has been there since the early days of this studio. So unlike Concord, where they came in at the last second, here they've been on the team pretty much the whole time. They have been the owners of Haven Entertainment Studios and Fairgames for really the entirety of its development. So this looks a lot more on Sony than in the past examples, like with Concord, where they came in at the last second, which really isn't much of an excuse. Like, if the game was really bad, why would they acquire it in the first place? But that's another story. But there's also some...
I mean, it's not... The leading people just don't give a shit about it. They think if they oppress someone, bully players, and just sell them shit, that they will eat it up. And don't get me wrong, a lot of the times, sadly, gamers just eat shit up. As sad as it is, I had to accept it as a reality. It is what it is, and it's just the truth. But there is a point where it's just done. Where even the freaking biggest freak of a game, even the biggest fan says, nope, not doing it. I mean, I am a freaking fan of Overlord. I love this stuff. I love those freaking little goblins. But did I play the action RPG they made? No, because it was shit. Even though I love it, I really wanted it to be successful, but it just looked like shit, so I didn't play it. Simple as that. But this isn't the standard. Most people will still do things that and they just gonna buy it and be like, yeah, but I am a fan since years for this one product, for this thing, and I want it to be good, and I'm still gonna pay it up. No, just don't. Just don't. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I risked it for Black Myth Wukong, but come on, Black Myth Wukong had so much good faith invested in it that it's just... I mean, it worked at the end, but still I shouldn't have done it. in the end of the day, I shouldn't have risked it. I shouldn't have done it. It's just something you should not do. But I just got lucky. And a lot of people got lucky with Black Myth Wukong, not just me.
Something that Sony's really trying to harp on with the acquisition of Haven. They're basically saying that they have some very experienced veterans on their team, including some people from Ubisoft. And unfortunately, it is the year 2024 where that doesn't really inspire a lot of confidence, especially right now with Ubisoft in the fact that they're unable to release any trailer or preview of their two big AAA releases this year without getting dislike bombed into the Shadow Realm.
Yep.
But anyways, Fairgames actually did reveal a CGI trailer a year ago. And this was under my nose and maybe some of your guys' as well. I wasn't even aware that this was going on. But as you can see, how's it going? Terrible. As per usual, dislike bombed into oblivion. It's very sad that in the last year or two, basically, you can't find trailers of major releases without them being dislike bombed. And it's not because of those bigoted chud gamers who are just lashing out. These are genuinely disappointed potential customers who are looking at this slop and saying, this is terrible. I don't want to have any involvement with this. And they want to show to these companies and developers that we're not having this anymore. And before we get into the trailer, we're going to watch it together. Just understand that Sony claims they are very positive about this game. And also, keep in mind, they spent a lot of money to get on this project. Okay.
You want to know about us?
Not really.
Seems like everyone does these days.
You see that?
It's simple.
Eat the rich. Yeah, eat the rich, guys. If you haven't gotten the agenda yet, that's what's going to be going on here.
Oh, like something like that. I mean, for fuck's sake, everybody who actually grew up in the 90s has a bit of rebellion in his heart. And why I am not a guy who says, well, just eat the rich, because some of the rich people actually worked for their stuff. The biggest problem are the children that actually just get everything for free and then corrupt the entire thing that the family actually worked for years and just destroy it. But for fuck's sake, like, this is just already, and you know, because this is a clear sign of politically motivated, just woke people that actually don't know shit about it, and it's just a bad sign for now. I would love this shit a few years ago, and right now I am seeing this as a sign of a bad game to come. Because the people don't care about it. Those people don't care about a good game. They only care about a political message.
Too much money and too much power is held by just a few people.
Too much power, too much money, as you begged Sony to acquire you, who's a massive conglomerate on the entertainment industry. Keep going.
True.
It's only getting worse. So, we decided to do something about it. Let's go.
Generic. At best.
Dead on arrival, dude. I'm sorry. There's not much else I have to say here.
It's a haiku. I'm something like you. My drink and drive too. Work 9 to 5s when I was in high school. These shoes here don't come out till June. This my pick. I'll crop you.
Yeah, you can definitely tell, like, the hip hop track. They're trying to, again, the how do you do, fellow kids? See, we're hip. We're cool. Eat the rich. Hell yeah.
Yeah, they are doing that. I agree with Ref on here. This just looks, I'm gonna be honest, just freaking depressing. It's not. It's always the thing that I don't understand, because if you just stay true to yourself, even kids will think you're cool. I am a freaking old boomer, but most kids or young people are just like, well, you're a bit stiff, and I am just, yeah, Okay, if you think so, fuck you for that one. And people are like, oh, nice. Okay, fair enough. And this is just something. It's as if an old guy just comes out and just with freaking hip hop music and tries to fucking breakdance and just feels miserably about it because he actually tries too hard. Just don't give a fuck. And this is just going in the same exact.
Yeah, dude. Eat the rich and listen to our cool music. It's very. It's so forced. It's actually unbelievable. But we'll let it keep playing.
Window seat like Erica Badu.
It's a hard watch.
Yeah, it is. It just looks freaking bad.
At least the game is very bright and colorful. I guess that's something to take away. Woo! Edgy. Alright, so that's the trailer, right? You get the point, okay? The big eat the rich theme.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not just... For fuck's sake. I'm gonna be honest, this was so cringe, I actually got goosebumps. And I don't get goosebumps that often. I am a bit uncomfortable. Someone that desperately just wants to seem cool did this. This is... Oof. Okay.
Honestly, the whole thing is just very off-putting. Like, let's be honest. Like, it's giving a very forced agenda here.
Yep.
The how do you do, fellow kids vibe from a bunch of 30 or 40-year-olds at the studio trying to act like they're hip. And honestly, it just seems lame. This game just seems lame and very forced. And there's just something very off-putting about the whole thing, right? This feels like it's a game made by Twitter for Twitter. You know, like the eat the rich stuff. I don't think people want something that is heavily political to be the entire...
I would disagree, to be honest, with that it's made from Twitter for Twitter, because not even Twitter users would do that. Because I think Ref is a bit too much on Twitter, to be honest. There are a lot of normal human beings that you can talk with. Like, you can know with most people on Twitter like with normal human beings. It's just a fact. There are freaks, and the freaks are there. If you actually watch it, the freaks are there. But if you get a freak, you just, well, say F you, go out, and just don't talk with them. Block them.
Entire theme of the game. I think people either, number one, don't really agree with that sort of ideology in the first place, but even those who might be indifferent to it, they don't want to play a game based on it. Like, they're not that enthusiastic about eating the rich that they're going to go play a game. And also the irony of eat the rich while you're playing a game made by Sony, right? Or published by Sony. It's just laughable. And it raises the question, based on the very negative reception of this and the timing with Concord, are they going to scrap this? I think it's a legitimate thing that might happen. They might actually go out there and cancel this before it even gets a chance to go out there live. Like, cut their losses. Because I am telling you, there's not many times you can be really confident that something's not going to do well, and I think people can be confident this is not going to reach the expectations Sony had when they acquired Haven and Fairgames. But anyways, I want to do one more thing before we go here and just read the comments on this trailer. They are hilarious. You can't find a single positive thing in these comments. Let's read a few. This person saying, "Eat the rich," said the giant corporation. Also, please buy our overpriced battle pass in MTX. Guys, we're going on a heist. Prepare yourselves. All right, let me just put on my giant hoop earrings. Eat the rich, said BlackRock, the multinational investment management corporation. You can actually feel Sony sweating nervously through the screen. You want to get to know about us? No, that was literally me. Fairgames, F the rich, also Fairgames. Hey Sony, do you mind sponsoring us? Cancel it. There's still time. You can still save $50 million. And then the last one here, the next Concord. Yeah, this whole thing is a disaster and definitely big trouble ahead for Sony. This was likely another very terrible investment for them And hopefully, maybe in the near future, there will be some lessons learned for these developers and publishers.
I doubt it.
Maybe they'll learn something from these games that are falling on their face instantly, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. We'll keep an eye on this.
And by the way, I don't think so. There won't be anything learned. We need fresh blood that actually gives a fuck about the games, not about political stuff. If you're doing a job, if you're producing a game, then concentrate in a way that you just want to do a good game. If you make a good game, good. That's perfect. If you make a politic charged game, well, then it probably will die. I mean, it's not that games aren't political or never political. There are a lot of politics in games. There are a lot of games that actually do political commentary, but they aren't built purely around political commentary. They aren't built because of that. They just do one of those things. And I mean, that's fine. I would say most of the times that's fine. Nobody will say that a game is bad just because they get in one political thing. Or most people will just accept that, even if they disagree. Or especially if they agree, then it's not a problem for those people. But if they disagree, even if they disagree, they will still say that a good game is a good game. Simple as that, I would at least assume. That is it is, acolytes. Show me and Rev some love. As always, the legend did a good thing here. A nice video. And let's just end it. Good night.